All right, guys, it's the Covrprice Top 10. This time we're going back 2 years. All right, guys, we're going to get into this top 10 list from Covrprice from 2 years ago. What were the values then, and what are the values now? Was it a boost? Was it a bust? But before we do, I want to remind you, in the description down below, there is a Covrprice discount code. Use it, sign up, get yourself a membership because they are doing even more updates, making this even more accurate, more sales data. They also give you sales data on raw books, giving you an absolutely accurate price point of your collection. It's actually really incredible. And I always say this, there's also pictures, guys. There's pictures so you can see your book there on the screen. Sounds silly, right? But it's those little things that make it even that much better. Also, I want to remind everybody, today is Monday. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Attack on Tuesdays on Whatnot. Erod 212 starts at 7 o'clock. I go on at 8:30. And of course, Davis Ryder at 10 o'clock Eastern time. Indie week this week, I will have nothing but indie books. Maybe even be launching a little secret book now and again. I don't know. Keep an eye out on that. Make sure you go and bookmark it. And New York Comic Con coming around the corner. I will have artist Mark Morales with me on a Whatnot stream. We will be moving sketches, remarks, comic pages, awesome stuff. Keep an eye out for that. Get on there. The stream's already set up. You can bookmark it. Enough of all that. Let's get into this top 10 list. And of course, what do we start with? We always start with number 10. This is the Sensational She-Hulk number 1. How timely is this? It was 3 years ago when Disney Plus She-Hulk series was announced at D23. While other She-Hulk issues appeared higher on this list, the more affordable Sensational She-Hulk number 1 caught on aftermarket fire. This issue also introduced the more modern She-Hulk we know today. This had a high sale of $140 with a CGC 9.8 and a raw trending near mint fair market value of $15. 3 years later, the She-Hulk series just released. Amazing how these things, surely take. 9.8s went up a bit to $196 in near mint, but our 9.8s are $196. Near mint copies jumped to 42, with some copies hitting highs of $100. This is a boost. The first episode actually just aired a few days ago. I'm recording this on a Sunday. That was a Thursday it came out. Hopefully you guys have watched it. Getting really good reviews. I enjoyed it. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a really good show. Yeah, that's that. Let's get to number 9. This is Venom First Host number 3. Now, 3 years ago, it was all about Venom, Dylan Brock, and Sleeper, the 7th spawn of the Venom symbiote. There were plenty of theories around Sleeper and his true identity, with many believing it to be Dylan. This drew a lot of interest to his first appearance, with it hitting a high raw sale of $20 and $102 in a 9.8. 3 years later, this book does okay. It helps that Sleeper, who wasn't Dylan, survived Donny Cates and is still out there exploring the cosmos. It's a bust raw, but it's a boost graded. We do see that kind of often where the raw book goes down and the 9.8 goes up. Not very uncommon. Great character, by the way. I actually did like this character during that Donny Cates run. Let's go to number 8. This is all new Marvel now. Point 1, number 1. Ooh, it's a mouthful. Now, 3 years ago, also at D23, Miss Marvel, a.k.a. Kamala Khan, was confirmed to have her own Disney Plus series and appearance in the Marvels. With Kamala's expensive cameo first, collectors went to the cheapest first full appearance for Kamala in this book. It hit a raw near mint fair market value of $60 and a new high of $440 for 9.8 3 years after. Kamala's show has come and gone to mixed but mostly positive reviews. Raws have increased to $117. 9.8s are at a fair market value of $714. While this is a boost from 3 years ago, it's important to note that this hit highs of $2,032 for a 9.8 in May of 2021. That 9.8 is a huge tumble in price. Regardless, if you bought into this 3 years ago, you're still good. Just would have been better in May of 2021. There's still more potential in this. Kamala is also a beloved character in the comics, so maybe this is a great time to buy. I really enjoyed the show. I did. There are some people who didn't. There are some people who did. I thought it was really well done. I actually really like Kamala Khan's Miss Marvel. I don't know the actress's name, but I thought it was really good. Could this book go up? It could. The market is still feeling it right now. Some books are still climbing or holding. A lot have gone down. From 3 years ago, yeah, okay, this book is a bust. But like I said before, from 2 years ago, or even 1 year ago, I think 1 year ago, 2 years ago, anyway, it is down. Hopefully you didn't buy it at the high point. Let's go to number 7. This is Devil Dinosaur number 1. With D23's announcement of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur 3 years ago, collectors immediately went to this first of Devil Dinosaur instead of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur number 1. It had a high sale of $85 for a near mint copy and $260 for CGC 9.8. 3 years later, the raw fair market value of $337. This is a bust for raw and a boost for graded. However, this too had a bigger 9/8 sale in September of 2021, so a year ago, at $575. That makes the current fair market value a noticeable drop. Moon Girl also has been dipping in value lately prior to its animated show release. Guys, I don't know what to say about this book. Apparently, it hasn't come out yet. I'm not up to date on this, so I'm probably not a good person to talk about it, but it is dipping. Like I said before, everything is dipping. With that, let's get to number 6. This is Savage She-Hulk number 1. This is the newsstand copy. It's rare for us to have both the direct and newsstand editions on our top 10, yet here we are. She-Hulk News sent the market into a Jennifer Walters tizzy, with her first in a newsstand selling for $100 near mint raw, $600 in a 9.8. As noted, this is well-timed with the She-Hulk show release. Today, 3 years later, near mint raws are at a fair market value of $172, with 9/8 at $1,126. Now, that's a boost in 3 years, but like many books on this list, this also hit a high of March of 2021. Guys, 2021, remember that year. $2,000 for 9/8, making that a 50% drop in just from 1 year ago. This seems to be a new trend where the key books are dropping 6 months to a year before the content's release. Guys, we just talked about She-Hulk. I enjoyed it. I believe I didn't enjoy it as much as like the overwhelming majority of people that I've talked to have really enjoyed it. We'll see where it goes. But it's funny, that year, 2021, books were at an all-time high. We are a year after now, right? Well, it's August now, but you get the point. Everything is just dropping 50% on that book, which is crazy. It's also crazy to think somebody paid $2,000 for a 9.8. With that, let's go down to number 5. This is Moon Knight number 1. When you can't afford Werewolf by Night 32 or Marvel Spotlight 28, then you have to go to this more price-friendly option. With Moon Knight news tracing 3 years ago, this first issue sold for a fair market value of $50 raw, $275 in a 9.8. 3 years later, Moon Knight on Disney Plus has also come and gone to mostly positive fanfare, despite us all wanting to see more Moon Knight. Today, Raw's trend at a fair market value of $137 and $449 for a 9.8. So a boost 3 years later. But once again, today's price are way down from this past January's 9.8 high sale of $1,325 for 9.8. That's almost a $1,000 drop. Guys, I enjoyed the Moon Knight series, but it's not what I wanted. It ended up, to me, I was disappointed personally in Moon Knight. It was good. I get it. Oscar Isaac killed it, but it wasn't what I wanted. I did want more Moon Knight. Prices come down. Now, I don't think the prices are coming down on that book because the show wasn't as epic as it could have been. It's across the market, guys. Almost everything is coming down. Everything, I shouldn't say almost. Everything seems to be dropping. Some books are dropping more than others. As you see, this one took a huge hit. That's probably a combination of the market and the show, both negatively impacting this book. The Savage She-Hulk, the She-Hulk books, that will be an interesting test. Let's see where these books lie when the show ends. With that, let's go down to number 4. Guys, this is Avengers number 47. It is the first Dane Whitman, a.k.a. Black Knight, in cameo. Thanks to D23, these were on the move, with Raws selling at $250 and $910 for a 9.8. Now, 3 years later, the market is a little more hopeful for more Black Knight, as Near Mint Raws had a huge boost to $910, with the most recent 9.8 selling for $6,420. This was a massive boost. So why does Black Knight get a premium versus Moon Knight and She-Hulk? Supply. This book, due to its age, is not easy to find in high grade. It's darn near impossible, hence the premium. Moon Knight #1 and She-Hulk #1 have never been tough books to find, hence the tumble. Sellers also tend to flood the market around content release, which saturates it even more, therefore bringing down the value. Guys, supply and demand, right? There's less copies of Avengers 48 out there in high grade, therefore the price goes up. The more the people want, the less there's out there, boom, price goes up. It works the same way with the books from 1980, and I think She-Hulk, Savage She-Hulk, and Moon Knight #1 are books from 1980. Point is, there's a lot of them out there, and there's a lot of them out there in high grade. Let's go to number 3. This is the Savage She-Hulk #1. It was the hottest D23 book and saw movement like no other D23 related titles. And this was just the direct edition. It sold 147 copies in just 5 days, with a high sale of $255 for a Near Mint Raw, $600 for CGC 9.8. 3 years later, this has tumbled in raw price to $150, with 9.8s just hanging on at $696. Like most books on this list, this hit a high of $1,586 for a 9.8 in May of 2021. Today, it's almost back to where it was in its initial content announcement. It's going to hang on. The show will impact this in a positive or negative way. I do believe it. I do. I don't know if I'm being optimistic. Well, if the show is good, it should help it. If it's not, you may see it tumble. Whew, it's like a mouthful. Can we take a break? I need a drink. Let's just go to number 2. This is Venom First Host #3, the second print. Once again, strong rumors around Dylan Brock as the sleeper symbiote has this second print going nuts. It sold for $75 raw and had a high sale of $200 for a CGC 9.8. Today it sells for $90 raw, $383 and a 9.8. Odd that the one successful book from 2 years ago and 1 year ago was the flavor of the week this month in 2019. It is a boost. This is also a really good cover, in my opinion. I think that has a part to play in it. It's a really cool cover. Before we get into number 1, I want to remind everybody about the discount code down below. Sign up for Covrprice. Hopefully you enjoy it. I know I do. And with that, let's go to number 1. This is Batman number 77. The death of Alfred in this issue was shocking, so much so that it sold 274 copies in 5 days, with a 7-day trend of 414%, and had a high raw sale of $30. We asked whether the death would stick, as most deaths don't. 3 years later, yeah, Alfred's still dead. That's helped this hold some value at $18 raw and $80 in a 9.8. However, there's still a bust 3 years later. It's a modern book. Will Alfred stay dead? I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what DC's doing today? Whether it's the movies, whether it's the comics, I don't know. I'm the wrong guy to ask. Let's run some numbers. Let's talk about Covrprice one last time here. When you compare this list to 3 years ago, almost every book was a winner. However, the other common theme was missing pretty big all-time highs long before the character's official MCU appearance. As of now, it seems that a 3 year after announcement in the prime time to sell. If you're looking for a top dollar investment-wise, these characters are at relative lows due to market saturation. Kamala, Moon Knight, and She-Hulk have a bright MCU future ahead of them. Is now a good time to invest? If you bought into these 3 years ago, it might make sense to stay with these. Interesting list for sure. Guys, make sure you check out coverprice.com, their top 10 and movers and shakers list. Come back next show. This time we're going back 1 year. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, keep it comics.